Okay, how about now? You should be able to hear me. Okay. All right. Hang on. Hang on. I know why. Well, the reason for that is I had the audio muted. Wouldn't you know it? So this should be good. Um, but as I said earlier, while no one could hear me, today we are going to delve into the topic of expats facing an uphill battle in Thailand, whether it be to live here or to stay here. Is it an uphill battle? Because as I said in the last stream, I think living in this country is an incredible. It's an incredible gift. But the journey is not as easy as some people think, and it could be the confusing visa requirements. For some people, it's confusing. Listen, my buddy, he just sent me a message this morning. He's in America. That's Tom, who comes in every once in a while. He just got his visa in America, an online visa. When he comes here, he'll get the extension. Boom, he's done. That's it. Simple as can be. And then with the cultural differences and even the infamous two-tier pricing, there's a lot more to making a life in Thailand than just showing up with your suitcase and a little bit of money and saying, "Oh, I'm here. Take me. I'm here. Welcome me with open arms." So today I'll be sharing some of my own personal experiences, insights, and of course, we're going to hear from you guys. That is, if you chime in, whether you're planning to retire here, whether you're here already, whether you're working remotely and you've got, you're here on a tourist visa and you want to extend it, you want to do whatever it may be, whatever it's really like, just stick around and we'll get to all the nitty gritty of these kind of things. What it takes to move to Thailand. Don't forget to hit the like button and join in the chat. Don't be shy. I want to hear your questions and opinion. So let's get started. But first of all, I got to tell you, there's a couple little news items I want to go over real quick. Flooding is continuing in 5 southern provinces. And the reason I bring this up is my wife just told me last night. She said, "Oh, where our house is flooding." Now, the water is not coming into our house, fortunately, but it is flooding. It is making things difficult. And 1,998 villages have reported flooding in Chumphon, Nakhon Si Thammarat, Patalung, Ranong, and Suratani provinces. And how many people died? I think there was something like 35 people in total. And 737,000 households have been affected by the flooding. So if you're going down in the south, it might behoove you to check on what's going on wherever you're going and can you get through, because sometimes they don't allow the trains to come through because of the flooding. Also now Thailand is supposedly, as of right now, as of yesterday, Thailand has surpassed 37 million tourists in 2024. I don't know, are they going to reach 40 million? But the top 5 source markets are China with 6.3 million visitors, Malaysia 4.6 million, India 1.9 million, South Korea 1.7 million, and Russia 1.55 million. Apparently 60,000 Czechs will be arriving and 78,000 in 2025. This year, 60,000. Popular destinations are Krabi and Phang and Khao Lak, and they're going to receive billions of dollars with all these people coming in. And I did a stream a while back about what's going to happen if 50 million people come, and I don't know, maybe that can happen. I think that might happen next year. We'll see. It really depends on how things go. Uh, let's see here. I think we got two more things here before we go into everything. Um, Myanmar has jailed 4 Thai fishermen as tensions rise over maritime incidents. And apparently, these 3 Thai crew members were sentenced to 3 years in prison for illegal fishing in Myanmar waters without permission. And this body of water is an area that is being disputed by Thailand, and so apparently there's 4 people. The fishing boat captain confessed to fishing for mackerel in Myanmar waters. The prison sentence was suspended, and to maintain good international relations, all 4 Thai crew members will be released back to Thailand during the upcoming New Year's 2025 festive holiday. I don't know why they're keeping them that long. Why don't they just let them go today? I don't understand that. Well, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's see. What was the other thing? Okay, now this one, I was just saying the other day how Taxation is always rearing his head. He's in the news all the time. And he looks really healthy now. Oh, but just when he came in, oh my God, I'm so sick. What am I gonna do? Put me in the hospital, please. He's in the hospital now. He's out roaming around with his daughter. Um, and this is the thing. While Paetongtarn Shinawatra is the acting prime minister, a lot of people think that Taxation is really the prime minister. Um, I don't even want to talk about this because I just don't like the guy. I haven't liked him ever since he was prime minister because of some of the things that he said and did against foreigners and expats. If you were around back then when he was the prime minister, you know what I'm talking about. He did not like foreigners. He did not like foreigners in the country, and I don't like him. And I'm not going to start. But he is a loose cannon, and people believe that he is acting as the prime minister. She's his daughter. I mean, think about it. That's all I want to say about that because I don't want to get too much into politics. All right, so the U.S. dollar is 34.07 to the Thai baht. The air quality is 124. Temperature is 75 degrees now, high of 90, low of 71. The feel like temperature is 81, and there's 63% humidity. The humidity is making things much cooler here. It's very cool outside. It's very nice. 75 degrees. That's pretty good. And even in the sun where it is a little warm, it's still a nice. Anything 78 and below, hey man, fantastic weather. You gotta love it. So that's another good thing about Thailand, the weather. All right, now, the thing about moving to Thailand is not everything is just beaches, street food, and according to some people, women. It's not all about the women. It's not all about the beaches. It's not all about street food. There's a lot of things you have to consider when you're making a move to Thailand, and it can be as easy or as difficult as you want it to be. As I said, now, one of the problems is that a lot of people, I don't know, maybe they think that they can just come and go however they want. They can stay in Thailand for as long as they want, and all they need is a tourist visa. Maybe that's what they think, but I mean, I don't blame the Thai government for what they're doing. There are tourist visas on arrival, and they are designed for short stays. And for some people, getting a long stay visa is a pain in the ass. Now, my friend, he just got, good morning, Jim. He just got a retirement visa. However, his visa is good for 3 months. He got it in the United States. When he comes to Thailand in the next 2 months, he will get it extended and he will have the stay of extension for 1 year. Piece of cake. He just showed a couple of things. That was it. Now, he didn't get the retirement visa. He got a marriage visa. But he's going to switch to a retirement visa when he gets here. And so, for him, it's a piece of cake. For me, it's a piece of cake. He's just going to come here, boom, get his extension. It's done. It's not a pain in the ass. It's not difficult. Now, if you go back a couple of years, there was a guy, Bernard, and he was in the channel. He was in the chats quite often. He was a decent guy. But one day he says, they're going to kick me out. I said, well, what do you mean by that? They're going to kick you out. I thought you have a visa. You're all set. Oh, no. I'm just, I think he was here on a tourist visa. Now, he had an apartment. He was all set up. And one day they said, sorry, you can't keep doing visa runs. So he was like, they want me to get a retirement visa. I said, so then get one. He was over 50. I said, get your retirement visa. What's the problem? I don't want to do that. Okay, well, then you're going to have problems. I mean, it's that simple. They want you to do A, so you either do A or you got to go to B, and B might not be what you want it to be. It's just like going anywhere else. There are places that I can go. I don't have to show any money. I just show, hey, I'm here. I can support myself. I'm able to do so. Boom. 3 months, 6 months, I can get myself a 1-year visa, or I can get a temporary residency or something like that. Let me move forward here. I can get a visa. I can get whatever they want. But then there are some places that say, hey, you got to go through the process. Try getting into Australia, even as an American. Okay, it's not easy. So all these people crying about the visa complexities, that's all they're doing is crying. They're just whiners. Now, a retirement visa basically is designed for those over 50, and you have to show at least $800K in the bank, which is about $23,000. Or you have to show that you have an income of over 65,000 baht a month, which is around $1,900, give or take. And you have to show every year that you're meeting those thresholds. The marriage visas are a little bit easier. You only need 400,000 or 40,000. Now, he has Social Security, and he gets about 50,000 a month from Social Security. So that's all. He showed that. Boom. Okay, you got a marriage visa. You're good for 3 months. Then when you come here, you're good for another year. However, he wants to change it to a retirement visa, which I think he will do because he has the funds. He will do that. He has the 800K. And that's the thing. Do you have the money or you don't? If you're 22 years old and you go, I got 5,000. Listen, I was 32. I had 10 grand. But if you're, say, 22 and you go, oh, I'm done with school. I'm just going to go and I'm going to go live in Thailand. I'm going to go live the life. And you're living off of $600 a month. You're generating from something. You got $600 a month. That's not enough. And eventually they may say to you, hey, you can't keep doing border runs. Now, if you want, you can take off from Thailand after, say, 3 months. You can take off and go stay in Cambodia for a month or two. Then come back. And they don't have a problem with that. But you got to have the money. It's always about the money. And if you want to work legally in an office or something like that, then you're going to have to show a work permit. At one point, I had a work permit. When I was working with the media and also when I was working with the boxing team, I had work permits. I was able to work. Now, obviously, you have these stringent financial requirements. For any long-term visa, meeting the income or savings requirement is mandatory, and periodic checks ensure compliance. Falling below can mean visa cancellation. So if you've got 800K and you decide, oh, I'm going to pull out 20,000, I'll just show the 800K later on when I get my visa. It may not work that way. And then, of course, there are the elite visas. There's just so many visas now. That's why my friend was like, why don't you go over the visas? And I go, because there's too many visas now. It used to be very easy. You know, it was B visa, marriage visa. They didn't even have the elite visa or retirement visa. Now, Thailand also requires a 90-day reporting. That is a bit of a pain in the ass. But it's not that difficult. You can do it online. Some people are lazy. They're just like, oh, I gotta do it. Oh my God, I'll just go in and okay. If you want to go in, go in. To me, that's a waste of time. It's a waste of time to go in when you don't have to go in. You don't have to. It's easy. Do it online. And you know what? Go 10 days in advance. Make sure that the website is working. 7 days in advance. Oh, it's working. Put in for it. Okay, you do your 90-day report. You're good. You're good to go. It's that simple. You may also need a TM27, which basically just says that you are moving, and if you are moving somewhere, you're showing where you live, supposedly within 24 hours, but they're not real strict about that. And I used to have the lady do it all the time for me. She doesn't do it anymore. But you may need to do that, and that can be an extreme pain in the neck if you are moving around often and you're not staying in a hotel. A hotel will do this for you. If you go to a hotel in, say, Koh Samui, right? You go to a hotel there, as soon as you check in, they take your passport, they make a copy of it, and they send it to Thai immigration. So immigration knows that you're there. Now, when you leave there, if you go back and you're staying at a buddy's house or some girl's house in Udon or wherever it is, she's supposed to tell them where you're staying. Now, they're not real strict about this, but they can be. This is the thing about the Thai government and how things work. They are fairly lenient most of the time. Some things they are very strict, but they are very lenient in many other ways. However, if you screw up, you go out, you got a motorcycle, you don't have a motorcycle license, you're not wearing a helmet, you're just driving, okay, the whole time you're driving around, never get stopped by a cop, right? Have an accident and see what happens. Get into an accident, bust up somebody's car, and they're gonna go, where's your license, where's your registration, where's everything that you need? And you're gonna go, oh, I don't have, and they're gonna go, oh. Now you're gonna have to pay more money to get out of it. Okay. Chili, good morning. Yes, good morning, Jim. Visa runs are more of a hassle than getting a legitimate visa. Well, not if you're 22 years old and you got no money. You know, you just have enough to go across the border. Listen, I never will forget. I was staying at the Jolly Frog Guest House, which is now Smiley Frog. They changed the name for whatever reason. It's in Kanchanaburi. And I was there, and there was this girl that was standing around. That's all I can say. She seemed like she was just standing around. She was at the restaurant. She was, oh, is there something I can get you? And I went, okay. Why, you work here? Yeah, I work here part-time. I said, oh, okay. So then I got to talking to her, and I found out what the deal was. She got a room in exchange for working, like 4 hours a day. She got the cheapest room, which at the time was like 150 baht. She got this tiny little room with like a bed in it. That's basically all it was. A bed, a fan, and she got to stay there for free. So we started talking, and she said, oh yeah, I've got to go get my visa done. I said, really? So what are you going to do? Oh, I have to do a visa run. I said, okay, well, that's pretty easy, no problem. You just, from here, you can go across the Burmese border. I said, easy, piece of cake. Oh, yeah, but it's a little bit expensive. I said, it's expensive? And she was like, yeah, it's expensive. And I said, well, how much are you talking about? It's like, oh, I think it's like 3,000 baht altogether. And I go, you don't have 3,000 baht to get your extension? To go out of the country, come back? You don't have that? Oh yeah, well, I don't want to spend the money. I found out what it was. She did not want to pay the money. She thought the van was too expensive. I don't know how much the van was. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. But I know that she was bitching about paying 3,000 baht. And I said, well, how much is cheap? How much should it be? Oh, like 1,000 baht. I said, yeah, but that's something like, you're just getting an extension at immigration. You don't even have to go out of the country. I said, now you need to go out of the country, so you got to pay the money. And I think eventually she paid the money, but she was whining and crying about it. I mean, I'm like, and the thing is, she was from Israel. And she was complaining about how she had to pay that money. And I said, but you're not paying for a place to stay. You have a place to stay here. Oh, yeah, but I work for that. She worked like 4 days a week. For a little tiny room, they basically said, yes, you can have this. We don't rent this one out either. There are agencies that will get your retirement visa without the financial availability. Well, there are agencies that will get you a marriage visa. There are agencies that will get you just about any kind of visa that you want. But you got to pay a fee. And some of them are registered. That's the thing. If they are registered with the government, they are legal. If they're not registered with the government, that's the thing. Will they be honest with you? Will they tell you that? I don't know. If they're not registered, though, illegal. If I use my passport to register at a hotel, I need to report to immigration upon returning home. I always use my resident card rather than passport to circumvent this process. Yeah, well, anytime you go anywhere and you spend the night, it doesn't matter if you're staying in a hotel or wherever, usually the hotel will do it for you. That's what the hotel, they've been doing this for years. They do it in Myanmar also. They do it in a lot of places. You get it? They send a message to immigration, here's your stuff. Okay? That way, you don't have to worry that you're checking in, and they don't have to worry about where you are. I don't know why they always want to know where everybody is. I don't know what the payoff for them is. Oh, we're catching many criminals. Yeah, okay. I don't know about that, but anyway, the border runs, you can stay for 60 to 90 days if you get an extension, but you may have to do a border run and get yourself a new entry. And overstays now are 500 baht a day to a maximum of 20,000 baht. Now, it used to be 200 baht a day. When they changed the price, they contacted me. No lie. And I was like, oh, what does immigration want? What do they want to do with me? What do they want from me? Oh, my God. I was like worried. They were like, no, we love you. They like me. I was like, okay. And I was sitting around with like 8 of them. And they said, no, what we want you to do is we want you to release a video where you talk about overstaying. It is not okay. If you overstay, now listen, if you're going to the airport and it's let's say that you're leaving at 1 a.m. and you're supposed to leave the day before. They give you the extra day. They don't count it as an overstay. But if you're going over land, you're going any other way, or let's say that you're 2 days, 5 days, 8 days overstayed, they don't view that very kindly. Yes, you can just pay it off. However, every time when you come in and every time when you leave after that, they know you overstayed. Generally, you pay it off, but if you have any kind of an issue, they look back and they go, oh, he's overstayed 2 times. And they don't view that very kindly. Now listen, do me a favor, smash the like button if you would be so kind. That would be very nice. It would also be very nice if you subscribed and you click the notification bell if you're not subscribed already. Um, and I got to read a little comment from someone, but hang on, let me finish this up here. Um, yeah, subscribe if you would be so kind. I would appreciate that. That's always very nice. It supposedly helps. All the subscriptions, all the people I get in, that helps. But smash the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and show the love. You can use the super chats, super thanks, become a member on YouTube. You can use the Cash App. Everything is down below in the description. The Buy Me a Coffee, the Patreon, blah, 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 blah. I have to say this because it reminds people, it jogs their memory, apparently. Get some merch. It's down below the video window, or go to an American in Bangkok. You can get my book also. You can get it on Amazon. If you need help with anything, feel free to shoot me an email and we can set up a consultation. I've been here for 30 plus years. I'm not some guy who's an expert and I've been here for 3 years. No, I'm not. So that's something to think about. Now, what was I going to talk about? There was something I wanted to talk about, and I can't remember what the hell it was. Well, who knows? We'll just have to move forward. 34.07. That is not good. Oh, a comment. That's right. That's right. Thank you very much. Everybody remembers what I can't remember, so I never have to remember. I can forget everything. Let's see here. Here we go. What was this? Why would it be? Oh God, I just got a comment here. The arrogance of Americans calling themselves expats, even though they're in that foreign country for a better life, where they can stretch their dollars more. Expatriate literally means stripped of one's citizenship, not university library, not Wikipedia. Why is it not a white professional from another country called themselves expats, but only us ridiculous Americans do? They are simply glorified immigrants looking down at the working class. Oh my God. Listen, I hate these semantics, this shit over semantics of expat or immigrant. I don't give a fuck if you call me immigrant. I view myself as an immigrant because I am here permanently. Now, I may live in another country for 6 months or 3 months or a month. I may eventually do that. But to me, you know what? Listen, people who come here temporarily and end up leaving, those are expats. People who do not come here with the expressed purpose of coming here to live a better life and make a life for themselves in Bangkok or wherever they go. If they do not come here for that purpose, then they are an expat. If they come here, oh, I'm going to just retire and I'm going to chill for the rest of my life. Listen, I've been here 30 years, so what do you want to call me? You want to call me an immigrant? Okay. But it's funny how people, this guy say, or girl, whatever, the arrogance of Americans. Well, I freely stated you can call me an immigrant. I don't care. That's what I think I am. I've immigrated here, right? Now, the comment that I wanted to comment about, I didn't see that comment because that was just from 40 minutes ago. From yesterday, this is regarding, is Bangkok losing its charm? Is it becoming like Singapore or China? And this guy wrote, Bangkok never had any charm to lose. How and dirty, I don't know what that means, how and dirty, and every time I go there, I can't get out fast enough. Now, I don't know if he's just being difficult. I don't know if he's just slamming on Bangkok because he doesn't like it for some reason, or if he genuinely comes here every once in a while and he can't wait to leave. I don't know. But that's your right. You don't have to like Bangkok. And quite frankly, if you're coming and leaving, good. Go. You can leave and I'll stay. Because I don't have any problems here. To me, it's a beautiful life. It's a beautiful thing. Okay? So remember that. Some people. Some people. They think they know everything and they know nothing. All right, let's get back to it. Where's my paper at? Where's my notes? No, it wasn't in the Bangkok Post. It was a comment for me. I don't know if it was in the Bangkok Post or not, but it was in my comments, Jim. That's where I saw it. I don't know what the guy's name is. But you know, that's the thing. You have the right. Okay, if you don't like Bangkok, that's good. Okay, no problem. I don't have a problem with that. You don't have to like it. Don't like it. Go on. Do your thing here, and if you want to leave, go on. Get out of here. Oh God. It's Igor Volin, which I don't know how legitimate, this comment is. Who knows? I don't care. Now, this stuff about the taxes, it's so funny. Gabe, how many times have you been to Thailand? Oh, wait a minute. That's not Gabe. That's Gilles. Gilles, how many times have you been here in Thailand? You haven't been here yet. Okay, but I didn't mean to talk to you. I thought it was you, but it was Gilles or Gilles. You live here 6 years. Dude, I don't think they're going to do anything. I have a tax ID number here. I don't think they're going to tax me. And guess what? If they try to tax me, I will challenge it because I have Social Security now, right? I can show the paper that shows how much. They got to give me a credit. And I go, oh, I've only spent this much. And then they go, oh, okay, and you pay taxes in America. Yes, okay, well, you don't have to pay anything. And, end of that. All these people whining about the taxes, I would not get upset about anything yet. They're talking about the 15% VAT. 15% VAT? No, the Prime Minister said, no, it ain't going to happen. She already said that. Credit to her. I don't understand. Why are they going to make me pay 15% instead of 7%? That's more than double. That's ridiculous. There are some things that will drive me out of here. I mean, I will stay here even if things are a little bit difficult for me, and they're not difficult now. They're very easy. Everything is easy. This is what I was talking to my friend about. Because usually, I don't know why, but he likes to go to America every year and see his mother. Okay, I understand that. But he also likes to set it up to where he doesn't have continuous visas. He doesn't have a stay of extension year after year after year after year like I do. That counts for something if you have continuous stays of extension. My stays of extension are like 15 years or something like that. It could be more. I think the only time that I broke it was when I had to get my media visa, then I had to renew the media visa, and they said, oh, well, we're only going to give it to you for 3 months, then you're going to have to go out of the country and get it approved, and then come back, and it was a pain in the neck. They made it difficult for me because I got a little difficult, I'll be honest. I was like, it was like they were supposed to have the visa done, the paperwork done, like by the end of January, and it was like the second week of February, and I was like, come on, what's going on? And I was calling them up going, where's my paperwork? What's happening? Why do you tell me this? And I didn't know. And then they said, because of your attitude about our getting your visa, we're only going to give you a 3-month visa, and you're going to have to get it extended, and blah, blah, blah. And I went, oh, man. Shot myself in the foot on that one. So, anyway, what was I talking about? We don't need to talk about these other comments here, no problem. But the tax thing, I wouldn't worry about it. Honestly, not as of yet. And even if you do have to worry about it, it's probably not going to be nearly as bad as you think. That's what I'll say. Never travel beyond Soy Cowboy. You've been to Soy Cowboy, Jim? Oh, you mean he's never, the guy has never traveled beyond Soy. Who knows? I don't care. Really, Jim. Does it really matter? I mean, the comment, to me, it's a funny comment. That's all it is, right? It doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect you. It doesn't affect any of us. It's just something you go, here's another jackass that, oh, I don't like this place or whatever it is. What you can go do whatever you want. This is a thing. You'd have to pay 100,000 baht. Well, I don't think they're going to do anything. Honestly. And usually, I'm going to say usually, not always, usually I am correct. I don't think they're going to go after foreigners. And I don't think you should be going to the tax organization, the revenue department, saying to them, okay, I've got my tax ID. I want to pay my 100,000. Don't say a word. They haven't said anything in the government. Nothing has been finalized. Nothing is done. So, Charles, how you doing? Up by Phetchabun rather. Phetchabun province. It is a district in Phetchabun province. Well, I think I said yesterday we're thinking about going to Louis. But I don't know. It depends on if the park is open or not there because they closed it because the there's an elephant, a wild elephant that trampled somebody there. So, all right, let me get back to this here. Some people don't like that there are property restrictions. Foreigners cannot own land in Thailand, only lease it for up to 30 years with the option to renew. Listen, I don't care about any of that. First of all, I have 2 sons, and I have a wife who I trust. You know, you don't have to trust your partner, but it's a good idea. If you're going to get married, you better trust her. That's just how I look at it. She trusts me, I trust her. But we got 2 kids. My kids can buy the land. My kids can own the land. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care because you know what? I can't take it with me when I'm gone. And honestly, if you look in America, do I want China owning all of America? No, I don't. Do you want all foreigners owning land in Thailand so that they can buy up all the properties and then Thailand is going, oh, we don't own anything anymore? I think the Florida Turnpike is partially owned by the Chinese. Why? While foreigners can buy condominiums, Thai law caps the foreign ownership at 49%. This limits options and drives up prices. Okay, I don't see any problem with that. Why is that a problem? Why is it a problem you can't buy land? I mean, in Ecuador you can buy land, but I don't think the demand is high enough now to where they're seeing any negative aspects to that. But in Thailand, everybody wants to live here. So for instance, if the Chinese came here and they bought up everything, that'd just be too bad. If hey, this whole block is owned by the Chinese. We owned all the land. We own everything. Too bad. But that doesn't happen. Now it may happen with them leasing things, and there are creative workarounds. Like you set up a Thai company to buy the property, but generally they're subject to heavy scrutiny, and it can be a little bit dangerous legally. Thailand's changing immigration rules. That's another one that makes it difficult for people. They're always amending their immigration laws, and sometimes you don't get any notice, but generally, this is what I'll say. Generally, for instance, if you have a marriage visa right now, Your requirements are 400,000 in the bank or 40,000 per month. Now, if you are paying these right now, your visa, your stay of extension is current, and all of a sudden they go, oh, we want people to shell out 800,000 who are married. You don't have to do that. You are grandfathered, and you don't have to show the higher amount. Now, if you let your visa lapse or your stay of extension lapse, then you're going to have to show whatever they want. But you see, if you stay current, which is not all that difficult, if you stay current with it, then you're going to pay the same amount. And they have not once, since I've been living here in 30 years, they have not once said, okay, I know people who were on retirement visas, they just showed 200,000 baht. They're still on 200,000 baht. One guy died because he had been here like 60 years, and he died. But, I mean, that seems fair to me. Now, the fees can go up, or, the fees are generally reasonable. I mean, think about it. People are talking about Cambodia. Oh, if you want to stay in Cambodia, I think it's 360 baht or $360 or $390, and you can stay for the year. It's $30 a month. If it's 360, I think it might be 360, I don't know. That's only $30 a month. That's not much. But you know what? When you think about it's almost $400, it ain't cheap. But you know what? If that's what is required to stay in the country, then what is the problem? Look, when it comes to houses and property, who cares if they are cheap? And honestly, I got divorced in Australia a few years back and had to liquidate 3 properties. Nothing is certain. Be happy now. Yeah, nothing is certain. That's for sure. Nothing is certain. And that's why I say, if you have a retirement visa and you get a stay of extension and you're extending year in, year out, you're not doing anything wrong. You're just a normal guy living your life, drinking your coffee, drinking a beer, going out once in a while. You're not starting trouble with Thais and, trying to get into fights with them and do stupid stuff. They're not going to kick you out. Barring some major incident, like all foreigners must leave Thailand now. They're not going to kick you out. So be happy with the fact that you're staying here. I mean, look at people in Vietnam. There is no retirement visa in Vietnam. There is no permanent residency in Cambodia. And people are happy, right? So be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Let's see. Okay, now sometimes there are crackdowns like on education visas, visa overstays, Muay Thai visas. Sometimes they crack down on it. But you know what? If you're here to learn to speak Thai and you have an education visa, you should be learning to speak Thai. That's simple. I mean, how stupid is it that you think... This is the entitled mentality of some. They think they come in, they get an education visa, they go one time a week, they sign in for every day. The one time they go in, they sign for every single day. And then the school will give them their paperwork because they paid for it. I understand that happens. But all I'm saying is, why do you feel entitled to not have to learn the language? I think it's a wonderful opportunity. You get yourself an education visa and you are allowed to stay as someone maybe who is younger, older, whatever it is, and you get to stay and you learn the language and you get to learn more about the culture. And listen, this is something I've been thinking about for a long time. I know how to speak the language. I know how to read the language. I don't know how to write the language very well. I don't have to go back. I mean, I was thinking about it the other day. I thought, listen, I speak Thai good enough. I get along with everybody. I can talk to them in Thai. I can carry on conversations in Thai. Sometimes, I'm like, sometimes I have to really think. But that's okay. I still speak pretty well. And I'm like, do I really want to put the time in at my age? Because I think to myself, if I die at 64, that year of Thai that I learn now, that'll be 63 and a half, and then I'm only going to use it for like half a year. Does it make sense? Maybe not. But if I live to be 80 or 85 or 90, well, hey, it makes sense, right? And to do it for me, not for anybody else. I don't care about. Listen, most people understand me. I don't care about that. I care about it for me. So if you get an education visa, use it. Don't be stupid. Use it and just go, okay. And then, if you want to extend it, get another 3 months, another 6 months, another 12 months, you better be learning how to speak Thai. Get as fluent as you can. That's what I would say. All right, certain jobs are off limits to foreigners to protect the local labor market, as they should be. And this includes roles like tour guides, manual laborers, market vendors, and traditional trades. So you can't be a plumber, you can't be an electrician, can't be a refrigerator repairman. And I had somebody ask me about that a long time ago. You can't. Not going to happen. You cannot be a tour guide. You cannot be a tour guide that goes and shows people around here. You can't do that. Now, I just saw a website, a channel on YouTube, where the guy, I'm not going to say the name of it or whatever, but it has to do with Thailand. And in his channel name, it's tour guide, and he's a Westerner. And I'm like, okay, you get away with it. It's not a problem. They're not going to say anything about it. But if you try to be that here and somebody sees you, there are people that will report you. They will, and I'm talking about Thai people. To legally work, you must have a non-immigrant B visa and a work permit. Employers must justify hiring a foreigner over a Thai worker, which limits opportunities. And my buddy, who lived in Cambodia, he now lives in Seattle, but he wants to come back and visit. He may end up coming back. I don't know. He's got a job. It's an online job. He hates it because of the people he has to deal with and how difficult they are. But he loves it because he gets his money. He gets to do it from wherever he wants, and his boss doesn't care. He used to have to go into an office here. Then they closed the office, and he did it just online. So now he doesn't have a work permit. He doesn't have a work permit for here because he's in the United States now. But he used to have everything set up. And because of that, he gets a retirement. Is it retirement or is it disability? No, it's not disability. I think he gets it's from his pension. Because they have the Providence Fund. He gets some money every year because of that. He has to come back to Thailand to get it, which he's like, yeah, if I have to, I will. Have heard stories that Florin have gotten in trouble for painting their houses. It was considered working. Highly unlikely. I know it can happen, but usually if it does happen to me, that would mean that like somebody in your neighborhood is very jealous. And also, see, I think about it for me. If I'm going to paint, I'm going to paint inside. I'm not going to go outside and paint so everybody in the neighborhood can see me painting. No, I'm above that. I hate to say that. I hate to sound, like I'm so good and I'm so high so that I don't have to paint. But the reason is because I don't want people outside seeing me painting and trying to get me in trouble. Because, yeah, it's highly unlikely that you're going to get anything more than a little slap on the wrist or a little fine. They might go, oh, okay, 2,000 baht for me. Something like that. But if they really want to be difficult, they can do you on just about anything. You go out and mow your yard, you're working. Okay? Now, another one, and this used to bug me a bit, and that's the two-tiered pricing and some of the social barriers. But in a lot of places, I just go and I speak to, Wadi Kap, Tamalaya, Sabai Mai. I just start speaking Thai to them, and they go, okay, so you get the Thai price. The one place where I didn't get the Thai price, I think I had my passport with my wife, and I had to run and go get it. I started running, and the guy goes, "No, no, you cannot go inside." The guy was so serious about it. I go, "I'm coming back. Relax." And I had to pay 400 baht where they paid like 100 baht. And I was like, I didn't really want to go there. I don't really care about the place, but I've been there like 3 times now. The Emerald Pool, Emerald Lagoon, down in, I think it's Nakhon Si Thammarat. But some places you go in, they can be difficult. I mean, I went into, the last time that it was 2/4 Korean and myself, we went to the ancient city. He had to pay full price. I didn't, because I just spoke Thai to them and said, I live here for 30 years, blah, blah, blah. Okay, don't worry. Your friend, he paid full price. You know. My immigration officer neighbor often sees me painting a wall or doing other improvements to my home. He's very appreciative, and I'm showing pride in the neighborhood. Okay. He may very well be proud of it. I think for the most part, they don't really care. They go, oh, well, he's making the house look better. Okay, great. I think that's great. I think it's good. But some people are not so easygoing, and they're very strict about it, and they tend to be difficult. You know, so be happy that he hasn't turned that way, Jim, because he could if he wanted. All right, let's go. Let's go on. One thing that you don't think about, at least I don't think about it too often. Xenophobic attitudes put forth by Thais. Some of them can be quite xenophobic. Some of them, they don't even want to talk to you because they're like, they're all shy. I walked into stores before where, you know, some girl is, listen, I was in a grocery store yesterday. I went to the grocery store like I usually do. I go to the grocery store. There's a girl on her phone. I clearly see she is sending little stickers and little heart emojis and thumbs up and all that. She just stood there on her phone. I walk back. She's still on her phone. I go somewhere else. I got some cheese or something. I come back. She's still on her phone. She wasn't about to help me. Once you start speaking Thai to them, then they usually loosen up and they want to speak to you. But sometimes they can be very difficult. They don't want to talk to you. And I'll tell you where the attitude irritates me the most. And this is one reason, it's not the reason, but it's one reason I'm glad I don't go into banks very often. And that is because banks tend to have this attitude about foreigners. They're just like, oh, what do you want? That's kind of their attitude. Sometimes they're nice. Sometimes they're decent. Sometimes you get a girl who's working there and she just wants to do her job. And I mean, you know, listen, sometimes I just go in my bank book and I go, I need a new bank book, you know. And then they give me a new bank book and that's it. But sometimes I've gone in and their attitude is kind of like, ugh. I have to help this guy. And it's like, wait a minute, this is your job, honey. I don't care if I'm foreign or not. But, you know, it's just, that's their way, you know, and, you know, it is what it is. All right, another thing that certain visa holders and some retirees, they must show proof of health insurance with specific coverage. That is a minimum of 400,000 baht for inpatient care and 40,000 for outpatient care. It's not for all visas, but it can be a pain in the ass for people who they're like, oh, I got to get insurance and I can't afford it. And policies from outside Thailand may not always be accepted, forcing foreigners to purchase local plans at higher premiums. It's not that they're really higher premiums. It's what it is if you want the same coverage, you're going to pay a higher premium. They'll give you coverage that is actually very inexpensive, but you're not getting great coverage. You're getting okay coverage, and that's about it. Banks are a pain in the ass. I don't like to go to banks. I when I make a deposit, I make it through the cash machine. Withdrawals, sometimes I use the ATM. Sometimes, I don't even take the money out. I just use the QR code now. I don't care what anybody says. It makes it easier. I don't have to touch it. I always take out money and stash it so that I have cash in case the ATMs don't work. Bureaucratic red tape dealing with Thai bureaucracy. It's kind of like, you must use a blue pen on this paper, sir. So I went out just because of that. Where's it at? And bought a blue pen. You cannot fill this out with black ink, sir. You must get... Crazy. Anyway, immigration, police stations, government agencies can be rather slow and inconsistent. And banks, my God. I went into the bank many years ago and tried to get them to send me paperwork that said I made over, it was like 100,000 or something like that every month. And they gave me a paper and it wasn't the right paper. I went back and they go, oh, for this one you must pay 500 baht. And I go, okay, that's fine. But you didn't tell me that before. Okay, so then they give it to me. And then it was every time I went in, they didn't know what I wanted, and I was telling them, this is what you see this paper, right? This is what you gave me the last time. I want this again. Oh. It was a nightmare. I don't like banks. I don't particularly like hospitals. I don't want to go and talk to cops because I have no reason to talk to them, and they just kind of no. The government's policies prioritize the temporary stays and the wealthy individuals, making it particularly difficult for middle-class foreigners or those seeking to work, own property, or establish long-term residency. You got to remember that. Well, they don't charge a fee for everything here, but if you are doing a cross-province transaction, they will. Some other things that can make it difficult are the Thai language, because you have to learn how to speak the language, and sometimes that takes time. I don't even know how long it took me before I was like in Thai. I don't know how long it was before I started doing that, but it was not immediate. But I know within a year I was speaking basic Thai, and the Thais respected that fact. So that's why I always say, learn how to speak Thai, learn how to read it. Writing it, okay, yeah, I wish I would have learned how to write it better, and I want to learn how to write it. And I will, but all in due time. But I think that the speaking and reading are the most important thing, and they go hand in hand. And if you're writing it at the same time also, that is extremely helpful. Now, some of the unspoken rules in Thailand are that you have to show respect to basically everybody, which you should do anyway. You have to respect the hierarchy and the whole saving face thing, which I kind of got a problem with that, but, just don't put people in a position where they have to save face or anything like that. And those are some of the social norms that can cause some problems, some friction, some resentment. I would just say don't say anything negative. Keep your negative comments to yourself. And the one thing that some people don't really think about, and I can see this, a lot of people refuse to do this, and that is you need to adapt to the Thai ways. And this can be very frustrating for some expats, long-term or short. You have to adapt to their culture. You live in Thailand. You can't expect to be fully American when you go out and you're, hey, how's it going, buddy? How are you? Nice to see you. Yes, very nice. Did you watch Seinfeld last night? You're not going to be able to do those kind of things. All right? You know. So you got to, get a little bit of knowledge in the music, a little bit of knowledge of the TV show, of the stars, a little bit of knowledge of what they're doing and how to do things the Thai way. And I've always said this, and nobody ever thinks about it. Nobody ever really says anything to me about it. But if there is a person here and there is a person here and you're walking in between them, what do you do? Do you know what you do? It's something that in Thai culture is done by almost everybody. Almost everybody. When you walk in between two people, you bend down, you bow down, yes, you bend down, and you walk right through. That is what you do. That's normal. Now, I don't particularly like the whole whying thing, but I understand it. It's not necessarily about this guy is higher than me, he's better than me, he's bigger, stronger, whatever. No, it's not really about that. It's just about the way things are done in Thailand. Don't let it get to you. But you need to adhere to these things because you'll get along a lot easier. Like I said, I don't have any problems here. What's my biggest problem might be with my wife. She asked me to do something and I forgot to do it. Hey, will you get this? And I forgot to bring it back. And I don't do that very often. So usually I don't have problems with her. The only problem I have with her is she'll be sitting on there playing some game or talking to a friend or doing business on her phone, whatever it is. And I go, put your phone down. We're watching a movie. That's the biggest problem I have. Those are some of the biggest problems. I don't have any other real problems. But they don't have to utilize English. That's the thing. That's the thing. Instead of having that mentality that, oh, I've got to speak English to this guy. Maybe, maybe not. You don't always have to speak English to them. Not everybody only speaks English and, whatever it might be, German, whatever it might be. Some people actually speak Thai. And that's why sometimes I go into places and they go, oh, you can speak Thai. And I'm like, yeah, I've been here 30 years. Do you really think I can speak some Thai after 30 years? I mean, really. It's not that big of a deal. How many Thais speak English and they go over to America and they speak English and maybe they don't speak it perfectly, but listen, if they stay over there for 5-10 years, their English tends to be extremely good. Now, I always use my wife as a gauge, and in most cases, her English is far better than the average Thai. However, like the guy in CASHAPP who had an espresso, he was running an espresso business, a coffee cafe. He was running the cafe for somebody, supposedly a buddy of his. And he was making me coffee, and we started talking, and he spoke English. And his English was excellent. And I thought, this guy, he's lived over there, he was married to a Western woman, and he speaks good English. Now, the same thing goes with my wife. I speak to her and I go, well, I know she speaks English. I can talk to her in English all I want. My son, he likes Alex. He meets people and he starts talking to them in English, and then he carries on full-on conversations with them. And they go, hey, you're Thai and you speak pretty good English. Well, my father is American. Hey, Dowlo. Good morning. Good morning. Nick Noy? What is Nick Noy? I don't understand Nick Noy. I understand Nick Noy. Oh my God. All right, let me go on here. Now, something else here that can cause some problems is unstable legal environment. I'll be honest, I don't know all the laws here. I know some of the laws that I have to know. Sometimes there are visa crackdowns. Sometimes there are some tightening of rules. And, the Thais, the Thai government thinks about the Thai people first. I don't think that's a problem. Some people do think it's a problem. Now, this bugs me, the limited path to permanent residency or citizenship. I've already held my visa for much longer than 3 consecutive years. However, technically, I am not working in Thailand because I don't pay taxes. And to become naturalized here would take me another 5 or 10 years. And while I could do it, I just go, is it really worth it? 10 years, I'll be 72. I mean, I guess if I live to be 92, I got another 20 years in me. Well, yeah, it might be worth it. Right? I wish I would have known about this when I was working and I was, on a media visa and also on a B visa. I wish I would have known about these things. I would have done it, but I didn't at that time. I didn't even really consider it. I don't know why, but but these are some of the problems, and citizenship is very rare. So that is a bit of a problem here for foreigners coming here and living here. Taxation, foreigners earning money in Thailand face taxes, but they often cannot access the same benefits that are afforded to Thai citizens. Now, if you listen to the media, if you listen to all these people talking, I'm not even going to say who, but if you just listen to what's going on, people are saying, oh, Thailand is going to tax you on the money that you earn anywhere in the world. Well, I think that would be extremely negative for them, and it would be a downfall to them, especially because a lot of people have the dual treaties. It would make things just a major pain in the ass. I'm an American. There is a treaty with the Treaty of Amity with the United States, and that means you're going to have to wade through all these legalities. That would be a bit more of a pain in the ass, and that would be something if they really got strict with it, and they really started cracking down on it. I mean, really hard. They started, They just got very difficult about it. They're not difficult about it now, but if they got really difficult about it, yeah, I would be pissed, and I would probably want to move, or I would stay here for less than 6 months so that they could not tax me. And, the other thing is that, listen, if you go to a public hospital, they will take care of you. And something else, and this hasn't really happened in a while, but the political instability. And also, they have a very nationalistic sentiment, which you don't generally have to worry about, especially if you agree that it's good for the country. Listen, I'm from the United States, and I'm not allowed to say that that's great or it's great that we keep out illegal immigrants. I think it is good that you keep out you vet them, and you keep them out, and only the best can come into the country to work, to live. I'm not talking about for tourism. That's a different view. That's a different perspective that you have to have. And remember that if Thailand is difficult to get in for Americans, Americans will make it difficult for Thais, and vice versa. Now, and I talked about this before many times, that, my wife applied to go in and get her visa to the United States many years ago. It was like 10 minutes and she was out. She had the interview. She was done. She goes, I'll get my visa in 2 days. I was like, that's it? I was like, they're not vetting you any more than this? She goes, no, it was easy. I go, oh. But then you hear all these stories. And usually they're about, younger women. Maybe they're younger women who work in bars, or they don't have jobs, or the man is taking care of them, and, He wants to get them over so he can marry them and all these guys. That's a longer, more difficult process. And that's a little different than thinking about moving to Thailand. Okay. Also, now, while the healthcare is very good here, private hospitals can be very expensive. I don't care what you say. They're more expensive than they used to be. I stayed for almost 2 weeks in Ramkhamhaeng Hospital, and I was in a coma. I think I was in a coma for 4 days when I fell from the 4th floor in a fire. I was there for 2 weeks. You know what the bill was? Take a guess. The price, that was how many years ago? 20 years ago? About 20 years ago. No, that was even longer. That was about 23 years ago. My wife was pregnant with Nicholas, and Alex was about 2 years old, about a year and a half old. Okay, so, yeah, it was about, 21 years ago. The total cost for Scotty to stay in Ramkhamhaeng Hospital, ICU, for 5 days. I had a tube in my lung. I had my wrist was fractured in 2 places. I cracked my ribs. I fractured my skull. What else? It's been a long time now since I talked about this, but and I was in a coma for 4 days. And they were giving me all kinds of medication for pain and everything like that. It was 150,000 baht. I see 2 black small dogs, a green elephant, and 2 blue ducks. Remind me of a lost night's with. Dowlo, you okay? Lots of interesting. Oh, you see 2 blacks. Okay, I understand now. I was going, has Dowlo been puffing on the wacky tobacco? My wife gives me all this shit, She gave me this the other day. The green elephant. I'm like, why are you giving me this stuff? This is the coffee thing from Vietnam. You put a candle in there. I haven't used it yet. You put it on like that. The candle keeps the coffee warm, and it elicits a nice smell. There we go. Anyway, all right, let's see here. Where are we? Yeah, but that's for 2 weeks. That was cheap, man. Now, also, Thailand's cost of living has increased. We already know that. Cost of living has increased in most major cities. It's not nearly as cheap of a retirement haven as it used to be. Because Thailand lacks pathways to citizenship and imposes strict visa renewals, foreigners are always at the mercy of immigration rules. This creates a sense of insecurity. You're never truly settled. Well, I would tend to agree with that, although after a while you realize the Thai government is not out to get you. All they want is you to be a decent citizen. That's all. They don't want you to cause any... Listen, decent means if you want to stay home and watch TV all day, every day, and that's all you want to do, well, that's up to you. What they don't want is they don't want you causing problems. Right? They don't want you causing problems. I don't know, because I don't know what kind of... You got a tourist visa. If it doesn't say anything about it, you probably don't need it. Yeah, Dowlo, that was a bit of luck. I don't know how the hell that happened, man. I think about it and I think I should have just waited. This is the thing. Something that I've learned in my old age. When you think I've got to go. I've got to do it right now. I've got to get out of here because I thought, oh, I've got to get down. I got to save my wife and her kids, and the kids. I've got to save them. I have to do that right now. And the reality is, I could have just stood there. And it might have got a little smoky. It might have got a little difficult, but I wouldn't have died. There wouldn't have been any problem. Nothing would have happened. And I wouldn't have lost my Omega watch, my Speedmaster that I had, that I saved up for months for. And it was my pride and joy. I love that watch. One day, I will buy that watch again. But it's not a priority right now. There are other priorities. If you got your tourist visa already, you probably don't need to use the ETA system. I don't know. No, you don't need to. No, you don't need that. Oh, I know what I was going to say, and I should say this now before I forget about it. Yesterday I was talking, or day before yesterday, we were talking about the oldest cafes. And some of the cafes are very old, but I found the cafe, and again, the dates are not always the same depending on where you look. I saw this cafe was opened in 1906, which makes it the oldest and the first cafe in Thailand. However, it closed for World War II, and I thought it opened up in the 1990s again, but it says 2007, and the name of that cafe, and I'm going to go there soon. I've got a little plan on where I'm going to go, what I'm going to be doing in the next couple of months, but it's called Cafe de Nora Singh. It was established during the reign of King Rama VI and holds the distinction of being Thailand's first coffee shop. Originally located at Sanam Suapa, it was later relocated to Pattaya Palace. Phaya Thai Palace. Phaya Thai Palace was constructed in 1909, and it served as King Rama VI's royal residence. The cafe is situated within the palace grounds, specifically in the royal reception room, and is adorned by Western colonial style, reflecting the architectural preference of the era. The cafe offers a unique blend of historical ambiance and culinary delights. Visitors can enjoy traditional Thai desserts such as salty pork bread, a crispy bread topped with salty pork. That's really good. Pepper, ginger, and fried catfish. Modern desserts like crepe cakes are also available, catering to diverse tastes. You can get out of there by paying about 100 to 200 baht. The cafe was closed during World War II and remained so for several decades. It reopened to the public in the early 2000s, around 2007, allowing visitors to once again enjoy its historic ambiance and offerings. Cafe de Nora Singh continues to serve patrons within the historic Phaya Thai Palace, offering unique blends of history and culinary delights. So there you go. And you might spend 100, 200 baht. I think the coffee there is like 60 baht or something like that. It's not bad. So that's somewhere that I'm looking to go to pretty soon. So I got a couple things that I'm going to be doing in the next couple of weeks, and I think you guys will like them. I applied for the Thai tourist visa while in the States to make it easier to obtain a retirement visa while in Thailand. It's not necessarily easier. It's a snip What's a snip? I don't know what a snip is. But I do believe I will be going there. And I believe on Friday I will be going to Chinatown. Chinatown. I think I'll be going to Chinatown. I'm not sure, but that does look to be in the plans. Chinatown. Chinatown. Now, let me go on here. Where was I? Okay, now, yes, supposedly because of the lack of there is the lack of pathways to citizenship. There is some insecurity for expats, but whatever. Losing a job, failing to meet the financial requirements, or policy changes can result in having to leave the country quickly. Yeah, that's true. If you lose your job, well, you can stay for another 30 or 60 days if you want, and maybe even 90, and you can try to find a job, or you got to figure things out. I mean, that's all it is. It's a puzzle. You got to figure everything out. Also, there's the dual pricing, but hey, dual pricing has been taking place for a long time. It's not always bad, and like I said, sometimes I get around it, sometimes I don't, but whatever. At some point, you just go, listen, I know it's the principle of it, but also the money that they're asking is not that much, and you just go, do I really want to go here? I don't want to go to, I can't remember the name of the place, but there's a place down, I think it's in Nakhon Si Thammarat, and there are fossilized clams or fossilized oysters in a couple of rocks next to the ocean. And for me to go in would have been 400 baht, and for like the Thais, it was like 40 baht. My wife goes, oh, okay, well, I go, no, I don't want to go in. And I went over there were some coffee shops next door where you didn't have to pay to get in. I just went over there and sat there, and they were back in like 45 minutes. And I was like, I didn't miss much. And then another time I paid for it, but that was, I think, before then. For retirees, aging in a foreign country with limited social safety nets can become challenging. Thai society places the burden of elder care on families, not institutions. Well, that's why you have insurance, and you also make sure that you have a plan B and plan C. Let's see here. Great adventurous spirit. Well, sometimes I do. Good morning, Mr. Scott. How are you doing? I am doing just fine. Great. Excellent. All right. I think the thing is I'm not required to have insurance, but I apply for retirement visa while in Thailand, but of course I will get insurance. Let me see something here. Okay, if you get the OA visa, which I think is done outside of the country, you must show insurance. If you get the O visa, you don't have to show the insurance. It says the minimum coverage is 100,000. I don't know if they switched it back or not. I don't really know. I thought it started on December 1st, the ETA. Oh, damn it. Supposedly December 1st, 2024, it says that they will implement this. Oh, no, wait, was it postponed? Has been postponed, but is not confirmed as of yet. This is what Thailand does. Okay? Thailand to me is the wishy-washy country. They think this, and then they go, oh, what about that? Hey, what about this? Oh, what about that? Hey, maybe I'll do this. Oh, no, I should do that. Yeah, well, I'm not going to worry about that, and it's not for me, so. I'm selfish like that. It ain't going to affect me, okay? Which is good news. All right, so let me go on here. The safety net is a big deal. You need to have your act together here. You know, I got my wife and my kids and insurance and everything else. And my wife was saying, listen, why don't you go to the public hospital? You can get a lot more stuff done. It'll cost you a lot less money. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe I will. I may go to Rangsit Hospital, which is a great hospital. Air quality in places like Chiang Mai and Bangkok can be hazardous for months each year. This is a growing concern for retirees or those with health conditions. And this is something that some people don't really think about. They take it lightly. Most people just come to the country and they go, okay. You know, I'll just deal with it. Yeah, but some people cannot deal with it. Some people have asthma, bronchitis, and some people, it's very serious. The burning up in the north is very serious. And like I always say, traffic is always a problem here. And while it's improving, the infrastructure in rural areas tends to be relatively poor. And you know, you can get around without a vehicle in places that are more rural. However, if you have a car, it is much easier. But I know for a fact that you can get around if you have to. You know, I mean, you may just ask some guy, hey, listen, can I get a taxi? I'll tell you what, I'll give you a ride. All right, listen, I'll give you 50 baht, man. All right. One other thing that makes things difficult, that this again is something that people don't always think about, but the intense heat here. Right now, it is not intense, it is mild. But the heat and humidity and the seasonal flooding, which is something that's going on right now down in the south, it can be hard to adjust to if you're used to cooler climates. But down in the south in Suratani, yeah, there's a lot of flooding. And when we have flooding on our street down in the south, and it's to where you got to drive a truck because, I mean, or, you know, you're driving a motorcycle and the water is up to the bottom of the engine. Well, that's a problem. Wonder if it'll go through. Would you be prompted to apply like when you go to the U.S. when booking flights? I think they have recently implemented it, but you know how that goes. They might rescind it. No, it's not. It hasn't been implemented yet. And although it's supposed to make for faster immigration clearance, I don't know how it will. But I guess if it does, great. I don't know. And you know, long-term people don't have to worry about that. So people like me, people, I don't know what you get in here on Dowlo, but you might have to do it. I don't know. Now, while Thailand is beautiful and is very inviting and alluring, foreigners are rarely given a clear path to becoming permanent equal members of society. You will never be Thai if you live here. And I say that with the utmost respect. You will not be Thai. And quite frankly, I don't want to be Thai. I'm happy being an American who lives in Thailand and who has integrated myself into the society to where I really love a lot of things about Thai society. Some things I just, whatever, I don't really care about them. Doesn't bother me. Doesn't affect me one way or the other. And some things I just don't even think about. So for the most part, I don't think about a lot of stuff. And if it's good, great. I love the respect shown by people. I love the respect shown by kids. I love that you can get onto someone and say hello to somebody and they don't think you're, like you're a mass murderer or something like that. I love those kind of things. Wondering if it'll go through, would you be prompted to apply like when you go to US when you would be. If you're going to come here on a tourist visa, you would. To me, Australia looks like a bit of a pain in the ass to get into, but then coming into America can be problematic for some people. And I'll be honest, I thought the first time that my wife went to America, I flew through China. I had frequent flyer miles, and I just used the miles and flew for free. And she flew with the kids, and so I set it up to where I landed in New York like 2 hours before her. I came in, and I waited for her. And I thought, oh, God, I hope they don't give her a hard time. Oh, God, I hope they don't give her a hard time. She comes through, goes up to the place, shows her passport. Boom, her and the kids got through like nothing. It was a piece of cake. And I was like, wow, this is so easy. So, yeah, maybe if you go through and Australian immigration decides you look like somebody who could be a drug smuggler, they're going to make it difficult for you. And I think I told the story. Somebody I knew was on that border or whatever it's called, border control, where they're in Australia. He was on the show and it was like 2007 or something like that. He was there and they were looking for drugs on him. And I was like, holy shit. Can't believe he's on there. And he was giving him so much guff, man. He was like, hey, fatty. He called one guy fat. He's like, hey, fatty, is all you do is stand over there and look through my bags. Every time I come through here, you're stopping me. He was giving him a hard time. And so they didn't really like that. Anyway. All right, well. Let me take a look here. I think if you have money, if you have your act together, and you decide to come to Thailand, you can stay here if you want, and you'll find your way through the problems. You'll make your way through them, and they will not be that serious. However, not everything is likable. You may not like some things, and some of them might be deal breakers. I know some people that came here and they go, oh, God, I went to the city, it was so dirty, and the people, oh, my God, they didn't know what I was saying, they didn't know this, and I was like, well, what do you expect? It's not your country. And they left, and I don't think they ever came back. I don't know. But I've known, out of the thousands of people that I've known from online and that I've known here and there, I would say probably a half a dozen were really down and negative on Thailand. A half a dozen out of all those thousands. Listen, all I got to say about immigration and immigration in Thailand, me coming back into the country, you just shut your mouth You go into the line. You don't let nobody butt in front of you. They butt in front of you. You tell the agent, hey, look at that. Nobody ever has butt in front of me and got away with it. There have been some Vietnamese that got in front. And I said to the officer, I said, what's this? And he tells them, get in the back of the line. So I was lucky like that. But other than that, I have not had any problems really with immigration. And the problems that I did have were in the U.S. In the U.S., the first time I came back, oh, sir, we want to check your bags. And it really wasn't that bad. We want to check your bags. Where have you been? What have you been doing? And I gave him all these answers that, like, he didn't want to hear. You live in Thailand? What do you do there? Nothing. This is like, I don't know how many years ago, 20-something years ago, 25 years ago. What do you do there? Nothing. Nothing. How do you live? Rich wife. God, you know. But, you know, the thing is that, like I said, if you got your act somewhat together, you got a little dough. I mean, you know, even nowadays, carry some cash with you in case they ask you. Do you have any cash? You pull out a wad of 1,000 baht bills and you got 20 of them. You got 20K right here, baby. And I got my credit card and I got my bank cards. Don't sweat me. Okay. Cavity search, no thank you. Just like Cartman with the anal probe. Give him the anal probe. Anyway. Let me see here. Anything else I forgot? Let's see. Nancy! Come here. Nancy is not the most... come here. She won't come to me. She's very apprehensive about me. Nancy the cat. Come here. She doesn't even want to mess with me. I don't know. I don't know where he is. He's somewhere. He might be sitting up there with Nicholas. Nicholas is doing online schooling right now. He might be sitting up there with him, or he might be with Alex. I don't know. I can't keep track of these cats. Every once in a while, I'm very fortunate. I have a little bit of time where the cats sit next to me. Usually it's maybe 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and I'm like exhausted from whatever reason. I need an old man nap. And I sit down in the sofa. I'm kind of sitting and laying down in the sofa, and I'm turning on the TV and I'm watching something just to have some noise in the background. And one of the cats will sit over to the right of me, usually Sid. And to the left of me, we have a bunch of blankets piled up. And Nancy will sit on the blankets and curl up. And she'll be like this. She has her head inside of her paws. And they both just sleep right next to me. And for me, that is somewhat fortunate. Following my first trip to Thailand, I was harassed by U.S. immigration in San Francisco. They held me for about 30 minutes going through all my shit. I thought that I was going to miss my flight. Yeah, they can be difficult like that. Yeah, they harassed me my first time back, but they haven't given me any problems anymore. And now I just go, I'm retired. Fuck you. I'm retired. Don't bother me, asshole. I don't want to deal with you. And that's one reason why I don't like to travel as much anymore, because I just don't want to have to go through the crap that immigration might give you. And, you know, some people go, oh, well, they're not going to give you any shit. Well, they might. You never know. I'm not really that worried about it. But, you know, in looking at places we want to go and things we want to do, I don't mind taking a train sometimes. Nothing wrong with it. Takes a little bit longer, of course. You go into the airport, you got to go through the airport. You got to make your way through the airport and all the people. Okay, no problem. Sometimes you got to go through customs. Immigration. And then sometimes you're just sitting there and there's, 500 people waiting to get on the plane. and you're waiting with them, and then you got to stand in line and wait to go onto the plane. And, you know, I don't know. Sometimes it's like, I don't feel like going through that. For immigration, just remember how long you will stay, that you're a tourist, and where you will stay. I'm staying in my home, and I'm staying forever. For a laugh, I was thinking of putting some washing powder in a small plastic bags and putting them in my wife's luggage. Oh yeah, that I'm sure she'll love that. The last few times I just wore my DOA badge as I passed through, and they just waved me through. I should wear my FBI shirt. I didn't even think of that, but I gotta do that. Wear my FBI shirt when I go through customs in America and immigration. You haven't moved. Why don't you come here? Come here. She won't move. Anyway. Let's see here. Let me see something. $27 thumbs up. We've had about 40 people in today, which is, it's average, I guess. So I would appreciate a lot more thumbs up from you guys. Some of you guys. That would be very nice. Subscribe if you have not already subscribed. That'd be great. And I think on Friday or Sunday or Tuesday, I'm not sure, I haven't figured it out yet, I will be going somewhere in Chinatown just to take a trip. Just to go somewhere different, just to get out of here. Forcing myself to get out of the neighborhood. It's been a long time since I've got out of the neighborhood. So, rocking that t-shirt. Oh, wow. Well, I'm glad I made $2.99 Australian. Please give Mr. Dowlo a thumbs up. Thank you very much. Let me see if I can click another like. There's another like there. Thank you. Give him a thumbs up. Appreciate it. You keep me from being shut out. I made $1.91 US minus 35%. Every little bit helps. So there you go. You know, I don't know what it is, but I looked at my old videos and I looked at the analytics of them and how many hits I got and how much money I made. And I was like, how come I was doing so well back then? And now it's much harder to get a lot of hits, and it's much harder to make a lot of money. I think the most money I made is about $3,000, and that was from the video that got like almost 900,000 views. And that's over like 10 years. So that's not all that much if you think about it, but it's something. And I'll take it. It's better than a kick in the head. You know what I'm saying? Now, let me see something else. Wasn't there something else I was going to do here? Oh, yes. What is this here? Oh, yes. This is very good. Something else that I may do in the near future is I may do something, 30 lessons on 30 years in Thailand. Yeah, you know, I just don't. You know what it is? I'll be honest. Yes, there's a lot more competition now, and that's fine. Whatever, you know. I don't. In the end of the day, I'm like, you know what? If I really truly cared, maybe I would completely switch the channel. I would do something different. But then I'm like, you know what? I'm fine with the way that it is. It doesn't really matter. And so I don't have a problem with it. But I know some people, some people that come over here, I got to make it on YouTube. And some people get lucky, or they do well just because of their hard work or whatever, and some people don't. Um, Now, I will say I was probably one of the first streamers in Thailand and also Cambodia. I'm trying to think about Myanmar. Oh, yeah. Oh, I got my little two elephants up there, two ducks, two ducks. Well, I mean, I am what I am. I don't care. Whatever I am, I am. It's just some people turn out to be, they look like Tom Brady and they got millions of dollars. Some people, they look like me. They do okay on YouTube and they have a good time and life is good. Um, and sometimes I'll be honest. There's sometimes when I do a stream and I do a stream or a video and I go, this is it. This is gonna do it. Yes, finally, I'm gonna do it. And it does absolutely horrendous. Yeah, I kind of figured that. But believe me, I used to have a lot of hair. Butterbean's in kind of in a bad way now, although he's healthier now, but all those fights took its toll on him. I didn't have that many fights, so yeah, this is the thing. It's funny how life works out because I saw something about, oh, you know who it was? It was Stop the Insanity. The lady who used to be the health guru, Susan Powder, back in the 90s. She was a multimillionaire. She had companies. She had all this money rolling in. And then stuff started to happen to her, and she lost all her money, and she became, I think she worked for Uber, and she did Grubhub, and I think they're gonna make a movie about her or something. But she lost everything. She had millions of dollars, and now she doesn't. Just the way that life works. Well, Martha Stewart has millions of dollars still. Believe me. Martha's doing all right. She's got Snoop Dogg too. Nancy, come here. Come here. She just won't come to me. I don't want to go over there and pick her up. She's very mellow, though. Where's Sid? She's the hunter. She's the one that goes hunting for whatever. She's always looking around for a fly or something, so pretty interesting. I mean, I got a love-hate relationship with my cats, with our cats. Last night I was laying on the sofa, and all of a sudden I feel this on my face, and it was Nancy running over my face. She ran, bounced off this sofa, and then jumped on my head. Every once in a while that happens. So, what else was I talking about here? There was something else that I wanted to say before we cut off here. The Chowderhead days. Oh, I know what it was. It was about the Chowderheads. Listen. You're a chowderhead if you go into the bars and you think that you're going to get into a relationship with some woman or some girl in the bar that works in the bar. You think you're going to find the love of your life in a bar? You're an idiot. You don't need me to tell you that. You probably know already yourself. You are an idiot. It's business, baby. And while every once in a great while, a relationship, it might work out. I would say that the majority of the time, 99.9% of the time, guys go in and they start having problems. Here's one rule that I have that, this is one of the better rules. If you get into a relationship, Doesn't matter to me how idiotic they are. If you are the kind of person that you get involved with a woman and immediately there are problems. Oh, my buffalo died. Papa, his heart no good. He need operation. Oh, my family. Oh, I have to give money my family. I know money. You start having problems like this right from the beginning. She's working, let's say she's working at the grocery store. Oh, I need 50,000 because my family. Oh, too many problems, man. You know what that is? That's a massive red flag saying, get the fuck out of here. That's when you go, your vagina is not worth getting into all these problems. And that's the thing. That vagina is used for what? Practicing your procreation. And then after that, if she comes out with the problems, c'est la vie. Bye-bye. Even if she doesn't work in a bar, this is what I'm saying. Even if she doesn't work in a bar, and she starts with all these problems. Oh, I cannot do this. I cannot do that. Oh, my sister, she have big problems. She need to go to school. And, oh, I have too many problems. Oh. Yes, you got too many problems, exactly. And I just screwed you. We're done. See you later, honey. That's what a smart man would do. A chowderhead would sit around and go, oh, my baby, oh, she work in the bar, or oh, my baby, she got big problem. She's a good girl. She's a masseuse. She ain't a good girl, okay? A good girl will stand there by your side whether you got money or not. It doesn't matter. She's going to stand beside you. She's going to work hard for you, with you. That's a good girl, okay? So, anyway, that's all I got. There's a sucker born every minute. Anyway, thank you very much. Appreciate it. I will see you again shortly, real soon, whenever. Probably Friday. And hopefully we'll be down in Chinatown. I don't know. We'll see. So until next time, I am Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. And what else do I have to say? Choke D, little jerk and my, that's good luck. And see you later. Arrivederci. And all that good stuff. Adios. Ta-ta, as they say in Burmese. I will see you all later.